Good morning. Sure, you've all heard the newest cliche. Your jobs are not going to be taken by AI. They're going to be taken by people who know AI. Right? That's probably true, but it kind of misses the point. It's getting very obvious. Because there's an opportunity lurking behind you, behind all of us, about the one skill, the one competitive advantage that we all have that actually increases in value as the machines get smarter. And that is investing in trust and building meaningful relationships. First off, you might ask, who is this guy? I'm Rabin. I've been building businesses for over 25 years. I've been doing everything from Google Maps, launching that here in Europe, to working with Aleph, where we connect all the large digital platforms across more than 130 plus markets. My career has been pretty diverse over all those 25 years, but there's been one constant. Every job opportunity, every fundraising opportunity, every partnership I've done has come from a relationship that I cultivated over time and that was built on trust. Now you might say, okay, Rabin, that's not really anything new. Relationships matter, connections matter, trust is important, but the game is changing. We're entering a world where information, knowledge, even experience, even someone like me with a lot of experience, is becoming increasingly commoditized, where everybody has access to that almost for free, where it's very easy to fake competence, right? You can fake an essay, you can fake code, you can fake a marketing plan, you can fake your CV. I'm sure no one in the room has ever done that. And in a world where it's really easy to fake confidence, one thing becomes more and more important: the ability to build trust. And that is a skill that you can learn. Relational intelligence, call it. Building trust and meaningful relationship becomes your mode. Now, the good news is these are muscles that you can exercise. So I've got 5 muscles for you to build your trust and relationship building capabilities, relational intelligence. Number 1, agency. Being high agency. I'm not sure if you've heard the phrase. It's becoming more and more common. And all it really means is just a fancy way of saying somebody who gets shit done. Somebody who picks up their hand whenever there's a need. Somebody who takes initiative. Somebody says, give me the ball, right? Building trust is dependent on your ability to execute and deliver, or at least show the desire and determination to do so. It's no longer about just analyzing or diagnosing. It's about action, right? When I started my career, I was about the same age you guys were. The company I was at was going to expand to new markets, and I was very keen to be part of that, but I was the least experienced person on the team. So I took initiative, I built a business plan, I sold myself, and in the end, became one of the people that helped on the first market, and then was allowed to do the second one, right? And that changed the trajectory of my career. 2, resilience and agility. Now, if you're going to be high agency, you're going to get a lot of rejection. If I got a pound for every time I got a job rejection, I got a partnership rejection, or a sales pitch rejection, I got a investment rejection, I probably would have retired by now. But rejection is really important also to grow. Every one of those experiences, whether it was a job interview or doing a sales pitch, I looked at seeing what could I do better next time. And from a relationship standpoint, it's also incredibly valuable because rejections build connections. Every time you meet someone, that's planting a new seed. And through the course of my career, opportunities arose later in life that came from people that had rejected me in the beginning. 3rd muscle, curiosity and empathy. We all aspire to be interesting. But today, it is as important, if not more important, to be interested. Right? Trust is not built by impressing people. It's by being curious and listening to them. And with that comes empathy, the ability to put yourself in their shoes. So in my world, I do a lot of deals between startups and corporates, small companies and big companies. And there's always a friction because the big company looks at the startup and says, they have no money, they're chaotic, and the startup looks at the corporate and says, they move so slowly, they're so bureaucratic, so you don't get anything done. But what I've learned is to flip that into empathy and say, well, actually, big company, you have a lot of stakeholders that you need to convince. What can I do as a startup to help you spread that message and convince them? And from a corporate standpoint, startup, you don't have enough resources. What can I do as the corporate to help you accelerate things? So by applying mutual empathy, you also find mutual benefit. And that is the foundation to a really long-term partnership. Fourth, this is probably my favorite, cultural fluency. I'm an immigrant child. I grew up in two worlds, one world at home and one world outside. Perhaps some of you in the room can relate to that as well. And the skill that that gave me was to be able to navigate across different worlds very easily, to bridge differences, to see more nuance, to be more open-minded. And that builds trust in people. And it's not just cultural fluency, it's not just between nationalities, it's also generational. When you enter the workforce, you're gonna have to work with old geezers like me. And our ability to be able to find common ground and to connect becomes really important in order for us to build things together. There's also functional fluency. If you're in an organization with different teams, I'm very much a commercial person. I work in partnerships and business development, but I've always been in tech companies where I was surrounded by software engineers. At the beginning, they were like aliens to me. I spoke a different language, were motivated by different things, thought in different ways. But my ability over time to not just understand what they did, but also how they ticked, how they communicated, what mattered to them, allowed me to build deeper bonds across the organization. And this is bridging of differences, not just a relationship skill. It's actually a core leadership skill to unite people behind you in a common cause who are different to each other. And finally, my fifth muscle, orchestration. Love this word. It's basically the ability to connect dots, to create value and trust when you're not in the room. It's as simple as saying, I think there's someone you should meet, and connecting those two together. And that's how your reputational capital, it compounds. And you don't just build connections, you start building your own little ecosystem. And it's also one of the most rewarding things to do when you see two people that you've connected create value with each other and the goodwill that you've created by doing that. So these are 5 muscles. I suggest we go to the gym. So think of OffScript not as a conference, but 2 days where you have the opportunity to exercise these 5 muscles and start building your relational ecosystem here. I've got a very simple exercise. Number 1, go first, initiate, start a conversation. Number 2, go deep, show curiosity and empathy. Don't just ask, what do you do? Perhaps other questions like, what excites you right now? You might be able to come up with something better than that. And finally, connect the dots. If you met someone and you meet another person and you see, you know what? I think these two should meet because they could create something really amazing. Do that. Connect those dots. Now, I know that might sound a bit cringe. It sounds very networky, right? But trust me, this could become your superpower. And I believe that many of you already have been exercising these muscles for a long time. I'm full of respect for and admire your generation. You haven't been dealt a very easy hand. You grew up on smartphones before everybody realized that they were addictive and dangerous. You were locked down during COVID through some of your most formative years and missed a lot of life moments. And now you're entering the job market. A lot of people make it sound like the machines are taking over the world. It's hard. But as a result, I think you've been battle-hardened. You've been stress-tested. I think you've been exercising all these muscles already. I fundamentally believe that the future belongs to people who understand and are very good at technology, but also combine that with agency, curiosity, and human connection. I'm incredibly excited to see what all of you will achieve. I wish you all the best, and thank you.